Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jerry King and I'd like to... Good afternoon and welcome. Is this turned on now? Okay, I've been misled. My name is Jerry King and I'd like to present to you the topic of contemporary glass in China. But first of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we're on traditional Ghana land, and I'd like to pay respect to the present occupants and the past occupants of this land. Contemporary glass in China is an enormous topic. We hear very little about it. You can't discuss anything, really, without the subject of China coming up. If you're talking about economics or politics or trade, or especially for us, mining, China's in every topic. But we know all that, but we know very little about glass in China. We've scheduled 2 sessions for this because it is such a big topic, and we can just skim across the surface. And if you'd like more information, please do talk to our presenters during the rest of the conference. And I want to assure you, I don't get a percentage of this. There's an article in the current issue of Crafts Arts International, which is available upstairs with Guildhouse. Well, I get a small percentage, but not enough. So we have 4 speakers, and in this session we have 2 speakers, and the first one is Dr. Wang Lingzhen, more commonly known here as Sunny, Dr. Sunny Wang. Sunny originally qualified as a designer in Taiwan, her country of birth, and then worked in a glass institution, not quite a factory, not quite a studio, in between the two, and they couldn't keep her off the floor. And so she insisted that they teach her to learn to blow glass, and then she slipped down the scale from designer to glass artist. She did her undergraduate qualification in Taiwan, she did her master's degree at the ANU, and she did her PhD here at the South Australian School of Art. During that process of doing her PhD, she was headhunted and was required to become, really, because of the way in which she was invited. I don't think she could say no. Was invited to become the foundation head of glass in Hong Kong at the Baptist University of Hong Kong. And that was in 2008 that you started there? Yep. 6 or 7. A long time ago, yeah. Sunny exhibits widely and has travelled widely in glass. She's the author of a book on glass, which is almost certainly the first book on contemporary glass written in Chinese. There's a few stories that we should tell about Sunny, and I can't tell them all because they might embarrass her, but there's probably half the people in this room know Sunny. It's very hard to go anywhere in the world in the glass community and not meet someone who knows Sunny. And I was having a discussion with some glass people in downtown Istanbul once, and someone said, oh, I met Sunny in Australia, and someone said, I met Sunny in Taiwan, and someone said, I met Sunny in somewhere else, and someone else. And someone walking past, a complete stranger, said, I know Sunny. They were referring to a different Sunny. Please, would you welcome Dr. Sunny Wang.
Thank you, Jerry, for so wonderful introduction to me, and so thank you also organizing my trip and this talk. And let me look at a slide. Yep. Okay. I would like to also thank Ausglass for inviting me back to speak today, and I'm so grateful to be here in Adelaide, where is my second home for my glass. And I also like to thank the 2014 Contemporary Glass Art Exhibition present in Hangzhou, where this presentation today about the growth of contemporary glass in China were formed. And thank you, Richard and Nick, for suggesting this topic. We met in Hangzhou. Richard was the curator for the exhibition. And here are some of the pictures of the exhibition. And we have a conference there, and this is one of the pictures. And then this is a work, okay? And it's kind of funny because 10 years ago I was exactly here, Adelaide, for joining the Adelaide Ausglass and the Guest Conference 2005, and I gave a talk on the topic of contemporary glass in South Asia, including China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan. And today I'm here presenting an update on a decade of development in the field of contemporary glass in China. My fellow presenters are three leading university professors. Dr. Guan Donghai from Beijing, Tsinghua University, you can see. And this is a few years ago, we took a picture together. We were so young that time. Okay, and Professor Zhang Xiaowei at the Fine Art College of Shanghai University, and Professor Li, Professor Zhang Xiaowei, Professor Li. That time, I didn't know, when I prepared my last talk here, I didn't know Professor Li yet. So, but he's here today. He will giving a talk in the second section. I'm pleased to be here with the three of them to speak to you on the overall development of contemporary glass in China. I will mention a little bit of the historical connection between mainland China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Sometimes, it's a little bit tricky, but we all Chinese. Okay, this is, by the way, introduction to the current development glass in Taiwan and Hong Kong, which I grew up in Taiwan, and now I'm based in Hong Kong. And we will see the image of my little students' work and a few of my own works. Some of you might also know my work from the 2013 conference at Wagga Wagga. I give a presentation about my work. And the international influence of China began in the 1990s with the return of Henrik Wang, Chinese name Wang Xiajun, who was the first Taiwanese artist to go to the United States to study glass. From 1987, he studied at the College of Art and Design in Detroit under Herbert Babcock. On return to Taiwan, Henrik Wang started a glass studio or company. It's not a normal studio we know. Called Liu Li Gongfang, with a famous movie star. Now it's a very famous glass artist, Loretta Hui San Yang, and her husband, Zhang Yi. Later on, Henrik Wang later started another company in 1993. It's now known as Tito. Now as Tito. And normally before was called a Grand Crystal. And this is an image of me in my quite early days. I was assisting Henrik Wang to blow glass, and during the day of my birthday, and I couldn't go to my birthday party. With Joy Huang, and which is another important artist in Taiwan. We will talk about her later on. Then I went to Canberra to do my master, which is before Richard was there, with Stephen Proctor. And both Tito and, I must say, both Tito and Liu Li Gongfang are the major producer of artistic glass with his own museum in Shanghai and outlet in Taiwan, mainland China, Hong Kong. Loretta Yang is also a highly regarded exhibitor in the U.S. Henrik Wang and Loretta Yang opened the first page, contemporary Chinese glass. Though their practice is very different from most of our individual artists, the model of the operation is not that one artist working alone, but rather than a designer working with a large group of makers. So they run their practice in a big company scale. They have a large factory to produce their products and work. So now they have factories in China and in Taiwan. 1987 was also the first year Taiwan people were allowed to visit China and to establish factory in China. So after that time, many Taiwanese glass factory, because the running cost is too high in Taiwan, they moved to China. So 1987 is a critical year due to the big change. And this recognition of his known possible disadvantage in the Hsinchu. This is used to be hot Hsinchu they make in the factory. This is kind of export product to US, to Europe, perfume bottles, or also the little ornament. So after the factories all moved to China, so what to do? So the Hsinchu is known for the glass city in Taiwan. They try to establish, transform the glass industry into the art industry. So in 1995, where is the year I graduated from university with design degree, they have a fourth Hsinchu International Glass Festival, and which I was student and helping my master to do some of the work there. And and this is me again with Stephen Proctor. Before I went to Canberra to do my master, and so at that year this is the third time of the Hsinchu International Glass Festival. I won the fourth prize in single material. Yeah. Okay. So last July, after so many years, last July, my students and I were in Hong Kong. We were invited to take part in the 2014 Hsinchu International Glass Festival. And Andy have noticed he's here. Andy Bordewin, Jerry King is here, and Martin Janeski from Czech Republic. They present hard glass demonstration. And Cheryl Farrell from US demonstrate frame working. So for this part, Jockey has been involved with glass in international, glass in Taiwan in various capacity for many years. And in 2014, which is last year, he is the international curator consultant, introduced to this exhibition many artists from around the world. Okay, so if you're talking about glass art, we have to talking about the glass education in Taiwan. Actually, there are around seven universities in Taiwan, and they all elective class. So I'm talking about four universities here. So this is a National Taipei University of Education, and they have a little art shop, and it's run by Professor Liu De Sao, and who studied in Japan. And the second one is in Hsinchu, National Hsinchu University of Education, is run by Professor Xiao Mingtun, and they have a art shop too. And here comes Joy Huang, and Joy Huang, she was educated in UK. Originally was a porter. She did the ceramic before. Now she's teaching part-time at the Donghai University of Science and Technology in Hsinchu. They all have a little art shop, but it's not running full-time. And then there's another important university is in south of Taiwan. It's called Shude University, run by Professor Qiu Qiu De. Okay, so they are the other three universities. They also have a glass program. They mainly teach blowing a little bit and the Q form and casting mainly. And one thing interesting in Taiwan or in China is people like to have a commercial hard glass studios. And there's the most famous recent one. If you go to Taipei, you might go to the Taipei Estate Creation, which is a estate book department in Taipei near 101. And two of my friends, they run this studio called the Queen Crystal Studio. And this is they are actually captured in they built a art shop inside a department store. And so people can see from the glass side. So it's a little bit like a showcase, okay, with the hard glass inside. And so people can book half-hour section to make a plate, a cup, a paperweight, depending what they want. Normally it's a half-hour section. So they have a master or an experienced student to help them to do so. And so this is how the studio is not very big, but it's very famous and appearing on a lot of newspaper. So if you ever go to Taiwan, you might visit. And this might be the fourth art shop in a department store in the world, okay? Very famous, okay? They say, once they talk to me, I'm sick of hearing Cantonese because I like Hong Kong people like to go there and blow glass. Okay, so this is some of the products or, experimental work they do. And this is here, the Tito. Tito is where I used to work for 3 or 4 years before I went to Canberra to do my master. So in Tito, they do have a museum. the museum where they have a hard shop, and I used to blow glass there, and they run a DIY glass course, including painting, enameling, sandblasting, whatever you can think about little glass work. They can have a 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 2 days, 3 days intensive class. They run this sort of museum courses for the public. And there's another one is in Hsinchu. It's called the Thai Studio. Thai Studio. This studio is quite unique. It's run by my old friend Donghai and new friend Avia Chen. Avia Chen she's from Hong Kong. We swap the position. I go to Hong Kong. He goes to Taiwan. So she was used to a designer in Hong Kong, and then went to Taiwan to study glass blowing, and ended up staying there, set up a studio with his master Donghai. And this is my students. They did an internship with them last summer. And so helping them to do, they help them. They help my student to get some more experience. And let's go to the Thai studio. There's a glass factory. Mr. Lin's glass factory. He used to run his factory in China, but recently moved back to Taiwan. And this is an old way, it's a chain working way. So it's many people finish one work. And this is how I used to work in the factory. This is a product I used to work. So hard glass is very, very exciting for people to experience, especially in Taiwan. And then they are hard glass is a little bit slower in Shanghai, in China, but there are 3 hard shops in Shanghai. I'm just going to talk a little bit. So this is the Shanghai Museum of Glass, and they run a, kind of hard glass blowing show. And this is Mark Hursty from US. And when we had the exhibition at the museum last year called Now and Then, the influence of Qingdan's glass on contemporary glass art. He did a demonstration there, and this is our photo. Donghai is in the exhibition, but she was late, so he's not in the good photo. Okay, he was too busy at the time. Okay, so another 2 studios is Jack Chen, and this is a kind of. They do recycle glass. At the same time, they have 2 workers to produce work. And you can also rent a studio, hard shop there. And there's another one called Plus Glass in Shanghai. And this is when I visited them a few years ago. I just met Li Jing, who is teaching together with Donghai at Tsinghua University, and he MA graduate in the South Illinois University of Carbon Dial. Okay. So now back to Hong Kong, where I am now. So I was invited as a visiting scholar in 2006 and to teach glass program, to start from nothing. I remember that my first class was there was no electricity, so I was teaching outside under a big tree. And the Donghai said, "Don't show this. It's too much to show it." So this is my students, their first casting, because we didn't have furnace that time. We did our first casting. Later on, we got a table. Okay. And they got a queue, and then we have a cold shop outside the corridor because there was no space. So we are actually mosquitoes food for a long time, for 6 years before we moved to the new space. And then in the meantime, of course, I'm, influenced by West. We invited so many international artists, but we don't have much money, so we only fish people who, stop by in Hong Kong. And Henry Guan, of course, he is my master, and he supported me a lot, so he visits us when we have the furnace up and running the first time. So, and Andy Baldwin again, he did a demonstration to our student. And Kevin Patriot from Sunderland, he visited once and gave a talk. And Michael Rogers from State, and of course Jerry King again here give a talk, and Kira Kim from Korea, and we had the exhibition together with Donghai, and later on she came back to give a talk and about her casting demonstration with both side glass. And David Ricky, when we moved to a new studio, and we happened to have a exhibition together, and we invited him to do a 2-weekend casting workshop with the student here. Okay, so we are fortunate to move into the new studio last year, a year ago, and we relocate in a new studio, which is Not so much mosquito now, okay? Donghai is running out, and so this is a new studio here, and we have 3 glory holes, 1 furnace, and so students really love glass blowing, and normally I have most of my students are females, many 90%. So I have 12 students in one class, and sometimes if we have time, we do some sand casting. And this is our mold making room for casting. So this is a cold shop. This is a classroom. So I'm one person teaching all the classes. I have no idea how I do it. So I teach glass blowing, kiln forming, and casting at the same time. So normally I teach 3, and I need to advance my knowledge after hearing the people's talk today. So wonderful. And then, so this is our critique. So our class actually is more about experimental class. So we have 13 weeks as 1 semester, so 3 months. So my design for the course is 2 months, teach them how to know nothing to something they can handle. And then the last 3 weeks, they produce their final project with their idea, because Hong Kong people like to have the idea to have freedom to do what they like. So I'm going to show you what my students have done in 13 weeks, 3 months. And of course, dumpling have to come in Hong Kong, and seafood. And this is the color one is all balloon, the clear one is glass. So students, they have come from different background, they can do so. This only for, again, 2 months skill. And then, yeah. And so they have combined their culture. Why you are not transparent? So don't stay in front of the TV, say you are transparent. People cannot see through it. And then one of my best students, Du Meng, from State, and she's from Beijing. So she is currently in study with Michael Rogers and a graduate. This is another kiln forming class, and another class. So I teach kiln forming and fusion, slumping, and pativee in the base level. And then this is pativee. And in Hong Kong, if you go to Hong Kong, go to the market, you will see a lot of egg tray like this. And the trees from Du Meng actually is in our old campus, very beautiful one. And then water, okay. And the real egg in Hong Kong, not real egg, the egg is glass. And the toothpaste, and the running water, and little bottle, little bubbles. And then we do have an exchange student from all over the world. So whenever we have an exchange student, it's always good. And this is a local student. And the salty fish, of course, from Hong Kong. And print. And then this is one of my students. She's more advanced, so she combine roll up and the painting and kiln forming and skill together. This is a practice work. And this is another one. This is a kiln forming work, and apparently last year we have some demonstration called Umbrella Revolution. So she cooperated with printing and kiln forming together. And there's some of graduation students' work, and Debbie Ricky happened to be there as a model. Okay, another piece. And this is another student's work. So I'm just running quickly through all the students, what they do. This is student is Julia Len. After 7 years, finally I can say I have one student become full-time artist in Hong Kong, which I'm quite happy about it. So she has a studio in Hong Kong and a shared studio. In JCCAC in Hong Kong, space is very little. So there's a creative, called the Jockey Club Creative Center. We have 4 glass studios there. So one is a studio of Hong Kong, run by K.C. Wang. And he has been there for 15 years. And, sometimes I took my student to see his, to visit his studio. And then he runs also the different classes for people to experience. And Ruby Wu, and she actually graduated from Sunderland, and sometimes she helped us to teach part-time in our class course. And Fanny, this is a kiln forming and lamp working studio. And Lu San, lamp working studio, she studied in Munano. And my student, Joby, actually shared studio there with her. And then there's another one, Hard Shop in Lama Island, a beautiful island. It's very little. You can see it's a very little furnace here and a little glory hole, but they run a similar system as a Queen Crystal in Taiwan. So all book, half hour each of the student. Okay, and this is one of my graduate students. He's an air attendant. Now he full-time and part-time teaching in Alice Lama Island. Okay, so there's one gallery in Hong Kong talking about studying about glass, and this is Karoo contemporary glass art. So this is me and David Ricky's exhibition. And okay, now come back to my work. Since I showed my work 2 years ago, so I'm just going to run through it quickly and just a little bit in the past. Okay, so this is here come the Canberra National University, so here, and this is when I graduated from my MA. And this is from here. I have no idea if Gav is here, but anyway, I graduated 2 years ago, and after 6 years struggle with my PhD here. Okay, so anyway, it's done. Okay, so this is my previous work. Okay, so I do blown glass and overlay cutting, co-working a lot in the past. And I did do casting because I was work at Tito for many years. So, and then I have some sculpture work and some blown work again. Okay, this is in Germany now. And some are inspired by calligraphy. And this is also part of my poetic stones from my PhD. I'm hoping to make a 10 set. I haven't found a way to make a 10 set of them. They need to be a 10 set. Maybe one day I have to talk to both sides about this. Okay, so this is my recent work, A Ladle in a Bubble, and this is last 2003, and with David Ricky, and this is 3 together. And you can see I was quite struggle in my life, try to get out the glass bubble. Okay, and then this is a canvas, a glass circle. I like circle. Circle is, with one circle you experience the unity of the moment. So again, glass ladles showing on the surface of the canvas, and then I like drawing, and I like to like diary. Okay, so yeah, this is another exhibition at Karoo, and this is my recent work. Remember Stephen Proctor? This is his work, and I finished the co-working for the exhibition in Shanghai, and this is the work this time. And okay, so this is the work I recently done. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Sunny. That was magnificent. Okay. So much ground and so much effort has gone into that. Thank you. We just have a couple minutes for questions. If you have a question, would you raise your hand and would you speak in a loud voice and keep the question short, please? Thank you. Helen. I have to repeat the question. What is happening in flat glass in China?
What do you mean?
Window making.
In Taiwan, there's still factories, but in Hong Kong, it's not possible to have factories, in the space is too expensive. So in Taiwan, we do have the window glass and flat glass factory, but also they also have a factory in China, of course. It's like one country, many system, or yeah. So yeah. And there is a sort of color glass called Bolay. In China, they say they are compatible with both side glass, but we don't believe it, so we don't let students to mix up with it. Okay, of course, yeah. So there are companies, yeah, but many in China, yeah.
No more questions? Okay, thank you very much. Sunny Wang. Our next speaker is Dr. Guan Donghai, and I'd like to say Huan Ying Li Dao, Audalia. Welcome to Australia. Yeah. Donghai is head of glass at the Academy of Arts and Design in Tsinghua University, Beijing. It's an enormous university. It covers many, many acres, and there's 14 cafeterias and there's student accommodation. There's 2,000 students in the art school. And for their centenary a few years ago, they commissioned 100 large outdoor sculptures. Can you imagine? Donghai established the program there in January 2000. Yeah? And it is an impressive and a monumental department. Donghai is more than a glass artist. He is also a poet, he's also a painter, he's also a calligrapher, and he does them all with finesse. Apart from designing and making his own works, he also designs for industry, and he has designed some sensational bells, or perhaps you might think of them as gongs. So the glass form suspended on a metal frame, and you strike it with a mallet. It takes a certain amount of courage to strike it for the first time. The most exquisite sound. And of course, the size of the piece, the thickness of the piece, and exactly where you strike it gives you a particular tone. They're wonderful. And they're manufactured by Tito Glass in Taiwan that Sonny mentioned earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, Donghai Guan.
Thank you, Jerry. I come from winter. I'm so happy to be here. Come to the warm weather and to feel your warm heart. Thank you. My topic is Tsinghua glass. Tsinghua is the university, a top university in China. I don't know what this word, what exactly meaning. I found it from a dictionary. But I think, hopefully it's right. Yeah, that's the bead from, it's 2,500 years ago. It's made in China. I think it's much earlier people working in glass than the maybe earlier than the Czech Republic. Yes, but we are proud. It's quite old tradition in making glass. That's the bead and the bronze mirror, which decorated with glass bead, but it's melted together. Also, the Han Dynasty, the glass to make can be a copy jade, but it's made by glass in South China, in Hunan province. They found more than 200 pieces of this glass in Han Dynasty 2,000 years ago. And same in Han Dynasty, they just found recent few years in Jiangsu province. They are glass bell in Han Dynasty. So it's coincident. It's like Jerry said, he see my design it's bell. So I make design for Tito company, but the Tito company make the advertisement said we first time make the glass with the sound, So, but after a few months after, we got the new information. People come to me, want me to enrollment. Yeah, this program to make the copy of the old piece. This really surprise. The biggest one is 69, and 4 centimeters thick. It is large. It's glass in Han Dynasty. So totally around 23 pieces. And I fixed a small part. This is the copy. I also work with the company Untitled. This finished. This job finished. Also, Qing Dynasty is another pew of the glass making. See, the circle is the glass factory in just by the Forbidden City. It's people working. See, they use the fan for cooling the glass. They make sheet glass in that way. And that they are products in Qing Dynasty. Because the ampere in Qing Dynasty, they all like glass. Even they enroll they enroll with the glass design. And in Boshan, Shandong province, they have a small temple. It's a glass temple. The temple god is the Nuwa. It's give the story is the one day the sky is broken. The Nuwa they melt 5-color stone to feed hole, stop the flood. Is the story. So people think glass gold. And people in Boshan still working in the old way. They make beadwork like this. If the furnace is very, very hot in the summer, even going to outside, you will feel cooler in outside. That's their product, the bead. Is the factory the local? Is the worker during the whole summer? They're so difficult to work. In Czech Republic, people the worker drink the beer, but here they just drink the bean soup. It's Tsinghua University. The year 1999, the end of the year 1999, the art school, before we called it the Central Academy of Art and Design, joined to Tsinghua to change the name Academy of Art and Design, Tsinghua University. That's the old campus. Now it's gone. The old campus, the old studio, glass studio, is the inside. So when I studied in England, my tutor, Keith Cummings, say 2 words to me I think important for my life. He said, show your own culture in your piece and to build your own system when you return. So that's the new studio in the new school in Tsinghua, and all the facility, the space is designed by myself. Not the kiln. I'm not designed the kiln. It's from Germany. It's a perfect kilns. We used for 8 years. It still looks new. It's another side is for making architecture glass, building glass. It's Matthew La would come for a visit in the year 2007. And the first time I hear about the gem factory from him, he showed me lots of images about gem factory. But unfortunately, I don't meet him here yet. And also, there are lots of visitors coming for teaching. It's Yang Huishan and Zhang Yi come from Taiwan. Catherine Newell and Steve Klein, they come from USA. And the others, William Carlson, Susan Franz, Mark Rusty, and Andrew, Bativa Lane, I'm from Canada. And Zhang Shanggan from Korea, teaching stained glass. And Sunny, yeah. Kevin Petrie, Antune. And when we started the glass class, we're concentrating on working with factories. There are factories in Shanxi province, Wenxi. It's a very old county. And usually they have 130 factories over there, but now mostly closed. Only around 10 is survival. So the student practice blowing in the factory. They talk to the boss, the owner, and they paint on the glass. Some factory is a better situation, better environment. So we organized the art examination in China. This is the examination last year in Hangzhou. It's organized by Li Wen, their school. So I made the research there. Also, 2 months after, we organized the Chinese contemporary glass exhibition. It's quite large in Jiangsu province, Nantong. It involves almost all artists in China. Also, we organized the conference. It's the Tsinghua where staff and the students work. It's Professor Wang's work. It's my work. It's Liu Li Yu's work, but unfortunately, she's found another job. Li Fubiao is our technician. And Li Jing, as Sunny mentioned, is boy come from study from USA for blowing. But we have not built a house shop yet. Lu Chi is our MA student. She graduated many years ago. And Shi Cheng's work, this piece is quite heavy and big, very complete to make the casting. And Li Zhenning's work. Some of the work is paddleware technique. It's my student's work. Also, some students design products for factories. We opened the paddleware class, and those is some students graduate from our school. They built their own studio, private studio. It's a Lu Chi studio in Shanghai. It's a Lu Shuangqi private studio in Beijing. The Hu Dongfang studio, Gaonan's private studio in Beijing, Yulan studio in Beijing. It's a Qinhuangdao Glass Museum. Right now, we have 2 glass museums in China, one in Shanghai, one in Qinhuangdao. Also, other cities that are planning to build a new museum. Professor Zhuang will talk about this after. They will show the glass piece in the museum. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That too is my work. Yeah. Yeah. This I'll be introducing my work. I take photo with Keith Cummings, Professor Keith Cummings. I do the MA degree in Wolverhampton University the year 2002, 2003. So I make, I think it's maybe 2 pieces in king work and 1 piece in stained glass. Because I thought when I come back to China, I was teaching everything. But in the same 1 piece in stained glass, I try different technique in sheet glass. Mainly time I doing blowing. I love blowing. I spent about 9 months in blowing. And for my final show, I decided to make the new series. It's Gates. It's a City Gates series, because the Gates gave me the feeling I want my work is powerful. So the Gates gave me the feeling it's not friendly, welcome people for coming. It's a defense people, so keep away, something like that. So give the power. So that's my work. It's done casting at my final show in Wolverhampton. So another 2 works. But after that, I come back to China. We have no house shop. I can't do sun casting anymore. So we do keen casting, but with same program in City Gate. Some pieces are quite large, but I try different technique in every single piece. So this the year I made this one 2 years ago. It's collected by Bristol Museum in England. I did last year for this one. It's showing in France now. Also, I did another series. It's a weapon. It's also showing the power. That's my work. I found the images from museums. This is my work. The black one, I called it a decade, like 10 years sword. It can be celebrated. In the year 2010, we set the glass class in 10 years celebration. It's my work, 7 swords. Also, some pieces I come from the ox. Okay. It's a knife. It's a board. See inside it's the wax mold and make the original. It's the cage. But one day, I found so I make the glass head and make a piece of plastic mold to support and put in the wax mold. Then make the mold together, lost the wax. So I got the glass head in the glass cage. This technique is showing Keith Cummings' book, Glass Forming Technique. Also, the similar idea, I make the glass link together or use it's the metal part and the glass part links together. It's some new ideas that I'm working in Steve Klein's studio in Los Angeles. I make use, it's the first time I use bonsai glass, it's perfect. So I lived. This one is for Steve Klein. It's gift for him. So this one I bring back to China. Also, I did some commission. The year 2010, my work is take part in so far is in Edge Gallery in Chicago. Also, I work in the gallery Kuru in Hong Kong. I have 6 pieces collected by Alexander Taster Foundation in Germany. Last year, I have 2 pieces showing in France. And also, we have group show in England right now. I take a lot involved to different parts of the world, the glass events. I go to Czech Republic, USA, and England gave demo in Stockbridge. I got my visiting professor in Wolverhampton University. I got my PhD 2 years ago. And Jerry and Kai come to Beijing to meet me, so give me the information, come to here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donghai. It was a great honor to have you present that to us. Thank you.
I just shame Jerry wants me talk more things, but only 20 minutes. It's hard to do. Sorry.
No, we're sorry. Would you like to ask any questions? Nick? So, Estelle?
What glass were you using before?
What sort of glass were you using?
The Bose glass, only ones I use is in Steve Klein studio in USA. But in China, we have the company make glass, we lead glass in China. We use that. Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah, please.
Quite widely around the world. So you would have seen in parts of Europe and the United States the awareness of glass as a medium for artists. Could you talk just a little bit about how glass is acknowledged as a material for artists in China? There's a few programs, but is there much traction? Is there much engagement with glass as a material? You see it increasing.
Can I say the question is, how do artists in China think about glass as a material for art? The audience. How do the audience think about glass as a material for art?
Oh, the audience.
Yes.
Is the audience growing? Is there much awareness?
It's only 15 years old with the contemporary glass art in China, so we are so young, and we have a very big industry area. China right now is the biggest country to selling the glass products to the overseas, and like that lady asked Sally about the window glass. I know in the same city in Busan, they have big glass make the very pure window glass. The product line is 1 kilometer. Yeah. They make the single one piece can be 20 meter long, 4 meter wide, and about 2 centimeters thick. Is a pure glass. So all the Apple computer shop they use that glass. Yeah. So the industry is growing very fast, but the art is young, and the audience need to push to let them to understand about the art part, not the industry. So I believe it be popular to public. Yeah. So.
Are there any more questions? In that case, I'd like you to thank Professor Donghai.